So yes, tell us. Perhaps I should start from how long you've been doing this, and how the reception has been like in this part of the world.
So I started 2015. That is when I officially wrote my my first poem. I was at a university room lecture hall.
Okay.
The lecturer was lecturing, and then I started writing.
Studying what?
Oh, of the obvious. Guess. English.
Literature? English,
yes,
okay.
Basically. So literature. It was literary criticism.
Okay.
Shout out to my lecturer. I don't remember your name. I'm sorry.
Why, has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been long.
Okay.
Like I said, 2015.
Happy New Year to your lecturer.
Oh, yeah, peace. So that's when I started writing. But so far, so good. You know, it's been great. You know, spoken word and the way Ghanaians receive it, the reception towards it. It's not like music. Ghanaians want to, you know, jam and dance and all of that. Many a time they want to listen, but if they want to listen, they rather probably, you know, read, which that one is also debatable. We don't like reading like that.
Yeah.
But obviously, we are pushing. We are trying our best, and there are so many people doing it. I give shout out to them. Nana Sase, yeah, he's a great person. He's doing it well. He's going international with it, and a whole lot of people. Hopefully, this year, 2026, the Meniabre, I'll enter into the international market.
Yes. So, like you rightly said, there are a number of people who are doing this.
Absolutely.
And their focuses are different. Those who talk about patriotism, those who talk about corruption, governance, and others. I noticed with the two messages you gave that you also have a particular message as well. Why did you choose this kind of message to give to people?
You see, sometimes when I'm writing for myself, but I know and realize that a lot of people also relate to me. So even though those people write for that purposes, especially when they tell me to write about Ghana, I find it difficult to write unless I'm in the mood. It's a muse, right? So if I get the inspiration. So I talked about this because I want to be that person. I don't want to be procrastinating. I don't want to be lazy. I want to make money. So that moment, I mean, I'll have to write about that. That's why I wrote about that. It doesn't basically mean that that's the channel I want to go. In fact, I can write about love too. I'm good at it.
Okay.
I
see.
Yeah. So when I'm in the mood, I write about love. No, there was a time someone told me to write about Jesus Christ. I said, relax. I want to be in the spirit. Relax. I want to be in the spirit. So where the wind blows me, I go. It doesn't mean that I'm not stable. I have a focus.
Yeah.
And I want to write about it. I want to write about money, love, sex, everything. You understand? Yeah.
But what does it take, really, to get the kind of message that you want to give to people?
What does it take? This question is deep. Calm down for me. What does it take? Like,
I know that you said, for instance, the first two that you just gave us, they are kind of, you're preaching to yourself, as it were.
Yes.
But aside from that, how the kind of work that you put in, you just mentioned that if somebody wants you to write about Jesus Christ, you have to be in the spirit.
Absolutely.
What does it take you to get into that mood where you're able to write exactly what you wish you would see in your own life?
Wow, now I get the picture. So I usually, you know, I read books. If I'm supposed to write about Jesus Christ, obviously I will have to enter into the Bible. So I read the Bible, sit somewhere quietly. Sometimes I'll visit a friend. My friend Philip Niwang is here. Go sit maybe at the beach or behind a tree or inside the bush, mostly. Yes, and then I will soak myself in the moment. No calls, nothing. Then I start writing, basically. That is what I do, basically. I can use a day or an hour to write a piece. I can use months to write a piece as well. So it depends on what I want to write about. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so you said that you studied literature or English in school.
English, yeah.
You could have done so many things with that course. Why did you choose spoken word?
Why did I choose literature, or why did I choose spoken word?
Spoken word, because that's what you're doing now, right? Yes.
I chose spoken word because I used to write raps, but I realized I wasn't good at rapping. Yeah, mommy beat, I'm unable to write on the beat. But then when they give me keys, like me flow or so, then I say, oh, okay, then this rap is turning into that thing, which I didn't know the name until I went for an event, a show, 2015, like that same year. And then a guy came to perform something. They called him, and then they introduced him as spoken word artist. I said, hey, then he started doing it. I was like,
how long ago?
2015. So yeah. So after doing it, I was like, this thing, I think I can do it. Oh, I didn't even know the name or the term for what I was writing. Yeah. Until he did it. Then I went back home. I went online YouTube. Then search spoken word artists. The first person I saw was a Ghanaian artist based in the UK, Sule Briggs. He wrote the highest album, Sarkody's album. He wrote the prelude, or he did the first verse for Sarkody. So I was like, he wrote a poem about why education is something, yes, and then I was like, okay, then I can write something. Then I started writing it. And then I wrote my first one, which is about love. Okay. I wrote it at the lecture hall. There was a lady sitting beside me. She inspired me. Shout out to Cindy. Hey, Cindy.
So would you want to give us a bit of
that one?
What's in that?
Okay, sure. I think I can remember 2015. Hey, all right. Let's see.
Okay, let me give you some time to reflect on that,
okay,
maybe
sure.
before you go. But what do you see as the ultimate purpose for what you do? You say you want to go international
Absolutely.
this year, you're hoping to, but there ought to be some kind of purpose behind it. What kind of impact do you see, purpose?
It's to make my words be able to touch souls. That's the ultimate purpose. Obviously, to also, be out there and then make money from it, but that's the bottom line. But for people to be inspired by my words, okay? Yeah, there's been several times that people from South Africa go to my YouTube channel. Anyway, if you are watching me, you can go to my YouTube channel, Fiifi Abban. Then the channel is Peacock Entertainment House. They subscribe to it and then watch my
Peacock,
videos.
how do you spell that? The normal Peacock?
P-A-C-O-C-K,
okay.
Peacock Entertainment House. So people from South Africa, Nigeria, people from Ghana here, they go and then they watch my videos and they're inspired. They're like, hey, were you talking to me? Like this woman, I feel like you were talking to me. So that is basically the purpose. I mean, every creative has that kind of thing. You understand? Where people relate to what they are saying and then be inspired by it and be moved by it to make a change. You understand? I wrote a poem called The Cry of a Child. The Cry of a Child is about child abuse. It's about everything. And, when you watch it, you are inspired by it. You can go and check it out. Fiifi Abban.
Okay. What inspired that?
What inspired that? I was a teacher. I am a teacher. Let me put it.
Okay. You're still teaching?
Yes, I am.
A trained one?
Absolutely.
Okay. So aside from the English, you also trained as a teacher?
Absolutely.
Where, Winneba?
No, Valley View University.
Okay.
But I went to Fosu College of Education. Shout out to Fosu College of Education.
Okay.
I went to training college first.
Okay, fantastic. So you were going to tell us the story about being a teacher.
Absolutely. So I was teaching this GHS class, and then I was part of the Child Rights Club. I was the patron. So there's been stories of child neglect in the village that I teach, Gomwakomu. And then...
That's in the central region, right?
In the central region,
okay.
Yeah, good, great. That's where I was teaching. But now I'm currently at Buntrase. And then, children were being raped. They were taken to the hospital. And then instead of, you see, when you are raped and they take you to the hospital, still you have to pay something for for them to check whatever that, whether it's true. And they can't afford just a simple 150 cedis. So this kind of stories touched me. Stories about child marriages, stories about child neglect, like I rightly said, physical abuse. You understand? I've been through that before, so I put myself in it and then wrote a whole, 5-minute poem and shot a video with my students as well. Okay. With my students who were some did sign language and all of that, to cover every aspect or facet of life so that everybody will understand. This is what moves me. This is what motivates me. This is what I want people to know.
Aside from the stories you heard as a teacher, did you have personal stories within the students or the pupils you taught that kind of pushed you to really write that
Absolutely.
story?
The story I was talking about is a student.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't like a faraway story?
Absolutely, no. It was a student. Most all the stories are students, including myself when I was a child. So, yeah. I was inspired by that. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much, Fiifi Abban, for joining in and really for bringing those messages as well. Very important for the beginning of the year to be inspired so you have the strength to move on. And also to start the year very well, let me tell you that